Good afternoon, Chuckleheads. It is your buddy, Choppadong, coming at you with an episode of Chop Talk from DFSArmy.com, the one-stop shop for all things DFS, MMA to PGA, to all of the things in between, coaching and content and customized projections loaded into an optimizer for you to make the best lineups possible on a given night. I'm going to blow through this. It's going to be the fastest slate breakdown you've ever seen before in your life. And we're going to do it strictly because I am late in getting content out today. Spent a lot of time behind the scenes, had other personal issues had to take care of. Now we're diving in, and I haven't looked at squat. I haven't looked at our own content and it's Freebie Friday for crying out loud. I haven't looked at all this content's open to you guys. Oh, I need to see this one. Nilly's Cash Academy. Oh God, we've been talking about that for a week now. It finally debuted today. I'm excited to read it. Stacks from CG. All this stuff is free, guys. Painting the black from. If you don't read this, you're crazy. That we've just got so many content articles that come out on a daily basis inside DFS Army. Then most of this stuff is VIP only. If you're only a free subscriber, I'm telling you, thank you, number one. But number two, you're missing so much. Just the tip of the iceberg that we show you. I'm going to open up the research tool here in a minute, and then I might dip into the optimizer a little bit and just show you how I'm going to crank out these lineups and get set to play tonight's slate. One thing that I do, I love our research station, I really do. But the first thing that I still do go to is first look over on Roto Grinders, because it just shows things in a very organized fashion. If I have a little bit of time and really want to dig into some numbers, Research Station is better, don't get me wrong. But this is fast, easy, at a glance. Simply give your email to them and it's free. It's not a paid thing. It's not a premium article. I look at the matchup really quick. I don't even really look at that. What I'm after is two things. I want to see who are the top dogs on the slate, IRT-wise, implied run total. Boston, Colorado must be a core slate. See, I don't even know that. That's how little I know about today's slate. Toronto, Houston, Arizona. Maybe Arizona's in Colorado based on that, because they haven't been that good of an offense lately. So I'm going to look at who's going to score the most runs. I'm going to look down here, well, who's supposed to score the most runs. Now I'm going to look at the pitchers. I sort by K percentage, okay? I click it to where the blue guys come up to the top, and I see Sale, DeGrom, Strasburg, Verlander. I see all, other than DeGrom, because the Mets offense sucks, I see a 310, a 210, and a 200. I mean, come on. Guys, don't overthink it. Pick one. Honestly, when it's this big, when everybody's all in the same price range, pick the cheapest one, take the bats. Get yourself the better bats that you can. That's what I would do. I don't need to look at this. I see all blue op Ks, which tells me they all strike out a ton. I see all blue K percentages for the pitchers. The matchups are all about one and the same. People will argue and dicker, like I might not want to take on New York. But San Francisco, Chicago, they don't scare me. Houston, whatever. But Verlander's having a hell of a year again, so not that worried about it. Caleb Smith, okay, now you're gambling. It's a fine gamble. You got a 27. If he proves to be not a Tampa Bay type starter, which sorry for yesterday, but if he proves not to be a Tampa Bay starter and go one inning or whatever, they got to go at least 5 to get the win. They got to go 6 to get the quality start. You want to make sure the guy's throwing at least that many innings. I see numbers and I pick accordingly, and I dig later in the day. And I don't have the time to do that today, but you guys need to do the same thing. This article never is designed to just give you can build lineups off it, but is never designed to give you all of the information at 100% complete blind trust that you're going to get, all of the research handed to you. No, this article that I do, this type of style that I teach, is designed to show you how to go do it for your damn self. Okay, I am a teach a man to fish type of person. I am not the kind of guy that's just going to come to you with your open mouth and drop the little worm in there like Mama Robin in the springtime. Does not happen. Okay, I want you to learn how to become a better player. That's why the DFS Army was founded. That's why we do so well. That's why we dominate. That's why we produce 20,000 and 10,000 winners like it's going out of style. Because we teach people how to play the game with their own personality and their own mix on it. Otherwise, you're just a damn karaoke DFS player. And that's boring. Now, if you wanted to look, I don't know that I'd use Trevor Bauer. The strikeout potential is not quite as high. Could he nut the slate? Sure, but odds are one of these guys is going to do it. Walker Buehler's not in a bad spot, 170 favorite, 470 K score. Greinke, not a big enough favorite, but 490 K score. That's okay. 8,200 is pretty cheap for him. In Coors Field, though, I might look at some BVP and see how he's doing. It's a gamble, therefore it's GPP only. Garrett Richards for cheap. Can't go wrong there if you want to afford some bats. Tanaka, not bad, 450K score there. I can't believe that Tanaka's the dog. Well, I guess it's because he's going up against DeGrom, but I wouldn't expect a lot of offense in that game because the Mets don't have any and they're facing a competent pitcher, and the Yankees are facing DeGrom. I don't see them hanging 8 runs on him. They could. I don't see it happening. I don't think that it's a favorite play, and on such a big slate, I don't need to go there. Looking down here, another good K score here for Velasquez, not bad. Happ, not bad, 480. Just pick. Seriously. Do you want a bunch of bats? Pick a cheaper one. Do you want the best pitcher on the slate? Pick an expensive one. There's plenty of bats to go around. Okay, so I think we've pretty much kicked this one down the road. Am I going to mention these other guys? No, don't care. Some of them, if they've got high K scores and they've got good Vegas odds and they're fairly inexpensive, fine, play them. Okay, the cash type pitchers are going to be up here. The rest are all pretty much going to be GPP. If you want to take a little bit of a gamble, you can drop down here Velasquez, Happ, some of these types of guys, and take some shots, and that's fine, but understand that you're incurring a little bit of risk when everybody else is playing ultra safe. So it has to work for you. They're going to sit there and lay the trap, and they're going to, the guys that run Sale and DeGrom and Strasburg, or not DeGrom, but Sale, Strasburg, Verlander, whatever, they're going to lay the trap for you in the head-to-heads and in the 3-mans and the 5-man leagues. They're going to hope you take a bad pitcher and go for bats, and that the bats fall flat on you and the pitcher sucks and they just cruise right past you with their pitcher alone. That's a cash game principle. So if you're doing this type of stuff, you need to be in the upside contests where if you're right, you get paid. And not only do you leapfrog past those guys, but you leapfrog past a lot of other people. It's not hard to pass these guys on the leaderboard. They're playing defense. If you take these types of pitchers, you're playing offense. Okay? So now let's dive into the research station. Let's take a look at the, well, another thing that I'm going to look at. Let me show you one more thing. Then we'll move on. I come down here to the offenses. And again, these are your high implied run totals. We saw those up top. I'm looking for guys that are facing, that have bad batting averages against. Greinke is apparently giving a 340 to lefties and a 320 to righties. Fine, you can attack him with Colorado if you want. A little riskier than most because it's Greinke, but it's not bad. Cashner, 370 to lefties, 415 to righties. If you're not attacking him, you do not understand DFS. Okay? So Toronto, great spot. Houston, great spot. Arizona, not so much. Even though it's German Marquez, you know, look, he doesn't give up a lot to right-handed bats. You're not playing the odds. You're gambling. I want to play the odds. I'll take these offenses. 401 and a 350. Hello, St. Louis. Matt Harvey, God, I wish I had faith in St. Louis the way they've dropped the ball lately. Cleveland, fine. Cincinnati, lefties only. Washington, righties only. But the part about that stinks, I would rather play LA and Chicago and maybe even the LA Dodgers. And the reason why is when both sides of the plate, you know, give the pitcher trouble, then you've got better odds at somebody coming through multiple times an inning instead of all of the right-handers going back to the dugout and the left-handers sitting on base. If you've got both guys going at it, you know, both sides of the plate hitting and doing damage, now what you have is a lineup that can turn over again and again and again. And that's where you're going to see 5 runs, 6 runs, 7 runs, 8 runs, maybe even 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever. That's most of the time where you're going to see that is in that kind of a batting average against where you can see that the pitcher just can't get anybody out. And that's what this is indicating. I mean, for crying out loud, a 415 and a 400, that's like anybody from that side of the plate that walks up the plate is like Ted Williams. They're going to have success. Now, I don't know which ones are going to have the most success, but I know they're going to have success. So these are the offenses. I'm going to write these down right freaking now, okay? I know it's Covey, but Boston, not so much. Colorado, yes. So I write down Colorado. I write down Toronto. I write down Houston. I skip Arizona. I write down St. Louis. I write down Cleveland. And let's say LAA, Chicago Cubs, and maybe even LAD. These are not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 offenses. I mean, you got to cut it down even more than that. You know what I mean? I mean, even Miami's in a good spot tonight, for Christ's sake. You've got to cut it down to more than that. You can't cover all of those bases on a slate. That's why I'm going to switch to the 8 o'clocks, probably play that later slate, maybe the 10 o'clocks. If it's 3 or 4 games, I'll probably play it over a 15-game full slate. I don't like 15-game full slates because you're forcing yourself to play Colorado and Toronto. And then if those two fall flat, then the guy that said, well, St. Louis and Cleveland was in a good spot, well, he's right too, but he kicks your ass. That's just luck. And I can't stand luck. I try to play only when I have an edge. And I have an edge when people are going to fall into traps like tonight, like playing Boston. It's wrong. Can Boston still have a good night? Sure. But with this many choices, playing Boston's wrong. I don't care if they have the most implied runs on the night. It's wrong. Dylan Covey is not running that bad against now. It may change when I see the research station and see his DFS grade's terrible, but I'm just telling you, as of right now, based on the opponent's batting average against, the damage that the opponents do against the pitchers, then you got to stick with double blue or blue green. If you see yellow or you see red in there, get out. On a big slate. Now on a small slate, like a 4-game slate, look, we've got the 8 o'clock game here, fine. 8 o'clock game here, fine. 8 o'clock game here, not so good. But if I only had 3 games or 4 games to pick from, then maybe I have to include this. I don't have to include it on a 15-game slate. Okay? So now I'm going to cut down to the research station. I'm going to go to the starting matchup, the starting pitchers matchup page. And I'm going to include the whole slate. And I'm going to look at all these pitchers here. And we've already picked out the ones we like. They're going to be at the top. These are the grades. I'd try and stick in these top 3. I might dip into some of these. Sale, DeGrom, Strasburg. Hello. Is that who we just mentioned or what? Tanaka's up there. Happ's up there. Greinke's up there. Verlander's up there. Okay. These are all okay. Now your others that I mentioned maybe down in here, are a little bit lower, but Velasquez is way down here. Okay. So I might stick around. If I come back over here to the price, I might stick around there. Tanaka, Greinke. These would be guys I might roll out on the cheaper side of things. Caleb Smith, I don't know. Well, attacking San Diego, not a bad idea. So these are also viable ideas depending on what numbers you look at and what numbers you allow to influence you. Okay? Then the only other thing I'm going to do if I'm in a real speed trap hurry is I'm going to the Trends tab. Okay, and if I'm assembling a cash line, I'm going to run first base, second base, third base, whatever, and I'm going to see exactly how these shake out. But I'm going to the numbers on a big slate like this. I'm going greater than, and I'm going all the way up to 375 today. I don't want to deal with any schleppies. And I want to see Boston, not so great. St. Louis, not so great. Toronto, Chicago, Colorado. Okay, it looks like a bunch of twosies and maybe a couple of threesies. So there's no overwhelmingly crazy hot stack that I'm looking for tonight. Looks like I might be headed pretty balanced with a couple from here and a couple from there. But I'm going to try and stick with these guys as best I can. Look at all these DFSA grades to pick from. And there's a little bit of value in here. Morales, Dexter Fowler, if they get the starts. Evan Gattis, if he gets a start, these are going to be big-time value bats that are going to afford me into here. Now, if I run a Chris Sale or something like that, I'm going to have to dig a lot deeper. I'm going to have to take a lot of these smaller chunks. So I can sort by salary and include everything less than 3K and see what comes to the top, reset these WOBAs and just take what I can get. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can tweak this research station, and that's why it's the absolute bomb for our VIPs. Hopefully you're getting this in time to use it for Freebie Friday. But what I'm going to do, what were the offenses I said? Colorado. All right, let's take a look at Colorado. There's my playables. That's them. That's it. I'm not touching anybody else. I don't need to. When I look at Toronto, I don't care what order you run them in. Toronto, 2 guys. Sorry, the others suck. Somebody mentioned earlier today about Curtis Granderson. How do I know if you did? Well, Granderson did not have good numbers going in last night. You know that. You saw that. Okay? Well, he doesn't have good numbers yet either. He needs another day of that. And then he'll pop on this list. But until then, I don't need to play him. I got plenty of others to choose from. There's my guys in Houston. Everybody else is running pretty cold right now. Where's St. Louis? Opens up a little bit. Now, I would be looking very, very much at these lower guys, these dirt cheap guys. Any of them, okay? Because if these guys are starting, God, there's 5 of them. If these guys are starting tonight, there's your value for Chris Sale. Supposed to be in a good spot. Is it going to pan out for you? I don't know. Supposed to be in a good spot for you. Might afford you a little bit of this if you do like Cleveland. But those are the playables. Look at the hot hitters on Cleveland right now. Look at that. That's who you should be focused on tonight. They're facing, bad pitching. Otherwise, we wouldn't have pointed them out. Angels. Trout, Kinsler, Valbuena. That's it. That's it. Anybody else, you're kind of doing it wrong. People argue with me, but I'm just telling you, if this is the base method you use, now you might include another guy to complete a stack or something like that, but this is the base at which you go by. Look at Chicago's heating up, getting more and more players on this list all the time. There's your playables. and then the LA Dodgers. 2 guys. That's it. They had a monster day a couple of days ago. That's it. Just these 2 guys. In the last 7 days, they're the only ones that are doing consistent damage. Okay? So hopefully you wrote some of those guys down. Go back, pause the tape, write down the names of the playables. Put as many of those guys on your team as you possibly can. For cash, spread out. Don't put 3 or 4 or 5 on the same team. But if you're including any kind of league or any kind of ladder or any kind of contest with some upside in it, you're going to need to correlate. You're going to need to add that 3rd guy, add that 4th guy. Take a stand. Take a chance. Take some risk because you've got to get that reward. And you're not going to get the reward without taking the risk. You don't need any reward or any risk to get to, say, 43rd place out of 100 guys or 37th place out of 100 guys. Guess what? It's not going to pay you crap in any other contest either. And if you spread out too much in baseball, that's where you're going to land all the time. The only way you're going to get into the top 20 or the top 10 of those 100-man contests for 50-50s or 100-man leagues, doesn't matter, is to stack. It's the only way you're going to get up there. And so if you're putting those into your contest mix, then you need to be doing some stacking. Yes, it increases your risk, but guess what? Baseball's a volatile sport. It just is, man. Baseball's got its ups and downs. We pinpointed these offenses: Colorado, Toronto, Houston, St. Louis, Cleveland, whatever. They're all in great spots. Not only do I not know which one's going to score 8 runs tonight, because most of them are not, I don't know who in that offense is going to hit 2 home runs. I don't know who's going to come up with the bases loaded and deliver. You don't know that either. None of us do. But the idea is to spread out and play few lineups. Take a couple of shots at these things and then put those in contests where you can get paid. And if you can do that, I'm not saying don't play cash games. You can back up all you want with cash. You put $1 in a single entry GPP or put $1 in a 100-man league or something like that, and then take the other $1 on that lineup, that very lineup, call it lineup A, and you're going to put $1 in a 50-50. That way when the 50-50 pays, it pays you out $2, and the $2 just covered the other $1 entry that you just lost because the stack didn't pan out. It got you halfway up the leaderboards, but it didn't get you all the way up the leaderboards. Okay? It's a very fundamental concept. 3-mans, 5-mans, 10-mans, all of it. But the higher you go, the more people are in your contest, and the more you're trying to win the contest, the more you need to stack to get up there. You can't beat 5 men without stacking. You just can't in baseball. I don't believe it. I mean, if you do, you got lucky, because it's not going to happen often with a bunch of one-offs and maybe a 2 for here or a 2 for there. It isn't going to happen often enough, because when you target an offense like, say, Cleveland tonight or Toronto, and they go for 10 runs, you need 4 dudes in that offense, maybe 3 dudes for sure, maybe a 4th, to be able to do any damage, because they all produced. And if you have 2 from that offense, and then 2 from St. Louis, and then 2 from Houston, and then Toronto blows up for 10 runs, and St. Louis and Houston go for 1 run or 2 runs, you're screwed. You can't win. You cannot win a 5-man or a 10-man or a 20-man league like that. You can't. You have to take shots in baseball, okay? I'll show you how I set up the Domination Station Optimizer just really quick, and then we'll burn out, because I want to show you what it likes. MLB main slate. We don't have the afternoon slates in there yet, which is interesting. Usually we do by now. That's fine, as it crunches and loads up all the players and all the projections and everything else. I've got nothing to do but sit and wait. So let me close these pages down. And I'm going to scroll down here, and the first thing I do is I put in about, say, 6 or 7 lineups, and I come out to 3 or 4 unique players. And I hit optimize, and I don't touch a thing first, because all I'm trying to do is see who the optimizer likes. Does it line up with what I like? Look, it likes Sale, it likes Smoke and Morales. Looks like a little bit of Devon Travis or Altuve. It's going to go all the way up or all the way down price-wise. Solarte, Blandino, probably in the Sale lineups. Marwin Gonzalez, Carlos Correa. It likes Houston. I don't. Tommy Pham it likes. Granderson it likes again. A little bit of Jock Peterson. Okay, so you can see who the optimizer is going to like, and then if you want to change it around, you use these numbers. If I don't want Sale to show up again, I bump him down to 45 points and he gone. If I love, Devon Travis tonight and I want him to show up in most of my lineups, I jump him up to 12 points. You know, if I like Jock Peterson tonight, I jump him up to, say, 15 points. And he's going to show up in damned everything I do. So who'd I say? Sale will disappear. You can see all of the Chris Sale. Sale should disappear. Well, actually, let's not even leave anything to chance. Drop him all the way to 40. Sale will disappear. Travis and Jock Peterson should start showing up more. So when I click Optimize again, there, picked a different pitcher. See, Sale is gone. That's how I get rid of it. And I can use that to, if I want to bring Sale back, I can put Sale in there at, say, 45, 46, 47, 48 points, whatever, until he starts mixing in with my pitcher, and that's fine. Devon Travis jumped to 100% of lineups. Jock Peterson jumped to 100% of lineups. Okay? So I can play and massage these numbers all I want and play with these percentages of lineups. And then when I get what I want, I come back up here. I click the tournament mode so it shuffles them up better. I open up my hitter stacking. I start loading up the percentages of stacks that I want. 3x3 on a big slate. 4x3 if you really want to take some chances. Fine. It's all great. That's how you win in baseball. I jump this back up to, say, 15 lineups or so. Cut these unique players down to 2 or maybe 3. Optimize. That's it. Now that it's starting to spit out lineups, I'm going to get the pitchers mixes that I want. I'm going to get the other mixes that I want. And I'm just going to go through here. And I have not tweaked this, okay? This isn't what I'm doing tonight. But I haven't tweaked it. But okay, I see, you know, I like that lineup. Based on the players that I already selected, I already liked. I already wrote down Colorado, Toronto, Houston, St. Louis, whatever. And I already showed you all the playables. If those guys are starting to pop in some of these stacks and some of these lineups, I'm going to run those lineups. And let's say it was out. Say this one I didn't like because, well, I'm not on the Reds, so I didn't like. I saw Joey Votto. There's some Toronto and whatever. Okay, so I like that one. Philly, didn't like Philly. Mark Reynolds, that's Washington. Didn't like Washington. Pujols, there's LA. There's a little bit of Kansas City. Ugh, I don't like Kansas City that much. Let's say there Miami was in a good spot. Milwaukee, I don't know, but there's a Milwaukee. Let's say I like that for whatever reason. Then what I do is I go up and I take these 3 contests and I go enter them in a dummy lineup somewhere out on Fanduel, and then I come back in a different tab, you know, up here. And I come back in a different tab, and now I've got these check marked. I already know what lineups I do, so I just manually punch those guys in, go to the next lineup, manually punch those guys in, next lineup, manually punch those. I can do this up to 10 or 15 lineups in a day. And it's not going to slow me down that much. It takes a little bit of time. It's not bad. If I start getting up to 20, 30, 40 lineups, then I need the tutorial that shows me how to import. Somewhere in here, we've probably got it. Shows me how to import CSV files and ship it out. So that's another option that you have inside DFS Army. But you need to come in to be a VIP to learn that method because we don't share our MME methods with everybody. Okay? If you're already a VIP, thank you. If you're not, come take a look at us. Follow the link in the description of the video and use code CHOP, C-H-O-P, and take a look. Open this world up to you. You've got another hour or 2 before lock. You've got the small slates all night long. And take a look. Open up the research tool. Do your own research. Follow this little process. It works. And, I mean, does it work every night? No. But it's going to work 2-3 nights a week. And if you schedule or you set up your contests appropriately, you'll get paid on those 2 or 3 nights a week. You know, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times your investment. And then that will cover the other 3 or 4 nights a week that it doesn't work. And you will slowly grind up a bankroll. I'm sorry, this is not get rich quick. DFS is not easy. And especially baseball. It is a random freaking game. You're going to lose more than you win. Therefore, you need to take more shots at upside contests so that when you win, you pay back all the times that you lost. That's just it. Those of you in Slack that think, why aren't I winning? I'm on a 3-game losing streak. Tough shit, man. That's baseball. That's what happens. It's the randomness of the game. It's the volatility of the sport. There is no other way to explain it to you. I'm probably the only person in the world that's going to tell you that. Everybody else wants you to think they win every day because they want your money. I don't give a crap about your money. The reason I don't care about your money is because I know I can teach you. And because I know I can teach you to at least stop losing. I can probably teach you to start winning. I can get your mind right. I can get you to understand what the sport is supposed to do so that you can better handle the ups and downs and stick it out for the long term. And guess what? If I can do that for you, then you'll be a subscriber. You'll be a VIP for a long time. I'll get paid off of that. No, I'm not here to sell you a wad of crap. just so I can get you for today. I don't give two shits about that. I'd rather keep you for life because we're the best coaching site out there. We're the best content site out there. We're the best tools site out there. And we've got the best damned optimizer going. And if you don't believe me, you go up here to the damned wall of wins and you take a look at all these freaking winners that we've put out over the last year, 2 years, 3 years. We are damned onto something. And I'm sorry, you can't afford $40 a month to win $10,000 or play for 50, work your way up to 50 or $100 a night so that you can grind up enough that you can pay for your own subscription. Then I am sorry. I'm sorry that doesn't work for you. But if you're the type of person that wants to be here for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and invest that 40, 80, $120 into yourself, into your own education, into your, getting better, and then you leave us, fine. You left us a better DFS player than you came in at. And I did my damn job. And we'll forever be friends out on Twitter. And if you need a little bit of help, you come back in for another few months. This is a month-to-month thing. I'd love to see you stay for a lifetime. There's nothing wrong with coming in for a month or two, taking a break for a month or two, coming back for a month or two. If that's what keeps the wife off your ass, then fine. You got to do for you what's best for you, and I'm going to do what's best for me. And what's best for me is not selling you a line of crap, but instead teaching you how to play this game so that you will come back. That's my job. All right, this has been Chop Talk. I'm a coach inside DFSArmy.com. Come take a look at us. Use coupon code CHOP, CHOP. Hopefully you saw the process. Hopefully you saw the tools. Hopefully you get in before it's all said and done. We're going to cut the video off before 30 minutes today. You guys have a great Friday. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday or Tuesday next week. Peace out.